what we're going to read today. So, the chapter 8 of the Bhagavad Gita is entitled Attaining the Supreme. How to be able to attain God. So this is one of the methods that's enumerated in the Bhagavad Gita. If one wants to attain the Supreme, the process, the channel, and the method is what we'll be discussing today. So the Sanskrit says, Vedesu, Yajensu, Tapasu, Chaiva, Vedesu, Yajensu, Tapasu, Chaiva, Danesu, Yad, Punyafalam Pradistam, Danesu Yad Punyafalam Pradistam, Ateti, Tat, Sarvam, Idam, Viditwa, Atieti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditwa, Yogi, Param, Sanam, Opaiti, Chaidyam, Yogi Param Stanam Upaiti Chaidyam, Vedesu Yajesu Tapasu Chaiva, Danesu Yad Punyafalam Pradistam, Ateti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditwa, Yogi Param Stanam Upetya Chadyam, Vedesu Yajeshu Tapasu Chaiva, Danesu Yad Punyafalam Pradisam, Ateti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditwa, Yogi Param Stanam Upati Chadyam, Vedesu Yajesu Tapasu Chaiva, Danesu Yad Punyafalam Pradisam, Ateti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditwa, Yogi Param Stanam Upati Chadyam. Please chant. Vedesu Yajesu Tapasu Chaiva, Danesu Yad Punyafalam Pradisam, Ateti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditwa, Yogi Param Stanam Upati Chadyam, Vedesu Yajesu Tapasu Chaiva, Danesu Yad Punyafalam Pradisam, Ateti Tat Sarvam Idam Viditwa, Yogi Param Stanam Upati Chadyam, Vedesu Yajesu Tapasu Chaiva, Danesu Yad Punyafalam Pradisam, Ateti Tat Sarvam viditva yogi param stanam upati charyam vedesu yadesu tapasu chaiva danesu ya punya param padisam Atietikta sarvam idam viditva yogi param stanam upati charyam vedesu yadesu tapasu chaiva danesu ya punya param padisam Atietikta sarvam idam viditva yogi param stanam upati charyam. Modest. Vedesu yadesu tapasu chaiva danesu ya punya param padisam Atietikta sarvam idam viditva yogi param stanam upati charyam. Word for word translation. Vedesu in the study of the Vedas. Jajesu in the performances of Jagya. Sacrifice. Tapesu in undergoing different types of austerities. Cha also. Eva certainly. Danesu in giving charities. Yat that which punya phalam result of pious work. Pradistam indicated. Atieti surpasses. Tat sarvam all those. Idam this. Viditva knowing. Yogi the devotee. Param supreme. Sanam abode. Opaiti achieves. Cha also. Adiam original. So translation and report by His Majesty Translation. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing the philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Please repeat responsibly. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. The purport is very detailed, so please pay attention. Prabhupada writes, this verse is the summation of the 7th and 8th chapters, which particularly deal with Krishna consciousness and devotional service. One has to study the Vedas under the guidance of the spiritual master and undergo many austerities and penances while living under his care. A brahmachari has to live in the home of the spiritual master just like a servant, and he must beg alms from door to door and bring them to the spiritual master. He takes food only under the master's order. And if the master neglects to call the student for food that day, the student fasts. These are some of the Vedic principles for observing brahmacharya, that is celibacy. After the student studies the Vedas under the master for some time, at least from the age 5 to 20, he becomes a man of perfect character. Study of the Vedas is not meant for the recreation of armchair speculators, but for the formation of character. After the training, the brahmachari, that the celibate student, is allowed to enter into household life and marry. When he is a householder, he has to perform many sacrifices so that he may achieve further enlightenment. He must also give charity according to the country, time, and candidate, discriminating among charity in goodness, in passion, and in ignorance, as described in Bhagavad Gita. Then, after retiring from household life, upon accepting the order of Vanaprastha, that is retired life, he undergoes severe penances. That's living in the forest, dressing with tree bark, not shaving, etc. By carrying out the orders of brahmachari, household life, vanaprastha, and finally sannyasi, one becomes elevated to the professional state of life. Some are then elevated to the heavenly kingdoms, and when they become even more advanced, they are liberated in the spiritual sky, either in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti or in the Vaikuntha planets or Krishna Loka. This is the path outlined by Vedic literatures. The beauty of Krishna consciousness, however, is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of the different orders of life. The words idam initua indicate that one should understand the instructions given by Shri Krishna, the Supreme Lord, in this chapter and the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. One should try to understand these chapters not by scholarship or mental speculation, but by hearing them in association with devotees. Chapter 7 through 12 are the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The first 6 and the last 6 chapters are like coverings for the middle 6 chapters, which are especially protected by the law. If one is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita, especially these middle 6 chapters, in the association of devotees, then his life at once becomes glorified beyond all penances, sacrifices, charities, speculations, etc. For one can achieve all the result of these activities simply by Krishna consciousness. One who has a little faith in Bhagavad Gita should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee. Because in the beginning of the 4th chapter, it is stated clearly that Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees. No one else can perfectly understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. One should therefore learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee of the Supreme Lord, Krishna, not from mental speculators. This is a sign of faith. When one searches for a devotee and fortunately gets a devotee's association, one actually begins to study and understand the Bhagavad Gita. The advancement in the association of the devotee, in the association of the devotee, one is placed in devotional service, and this service dispels all one's misgivings about the Supreme Lord, Krishna. And Krishna's activities, form, pastimes, name, and other features. After these misgivings have been perfectly cleared away, one becomes fixed in one study. Then one relishes the study of Bhagavad Gita and attains the state of feeling always Krishna conscious. In the advanced stage, one falls completely in love with Krishna. This highest perfectional state of life enables the devotee to be transferred to Krishna's abode in the spiritual sky, Goloka Vrindavan, where the devotee becomes eternally happy. Hare Krishna. Venesu Yaneshu Tapesu Chinga. Danesu Yak Punyak Fala Praisam. Atitita Sarvat Idam Biditua. Yogi Param Sanam Upati Chidiam. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerity, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Hare Krishna. So once again, you all welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavad Gita class. Like I said before, the title for the chapter 8 of the Gita is Attaining the Spirit. So all the verses in this very chapter help us to attain the Supreme Lord. In fact, in this very chapter, the essence of our humanity is explained. The essence of our devotional service is explained in this very verse. The Lord says that anyone who is engaged in devotional service, all the benefit of this material world is attained just by being a devotee. You know, it's very amazing. Just for the fact that you are in the Hare temple means you have performed some austerities, you've done some piety in your previous life, that ordains you or that qualifies you to even enter into the temple. It is not very common for people to practice what we discussed in this very scripture. Because what is delineated in this scripture is actually practiced by the higher beings, the demigods, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu. I mean, all those demigods out there, this is what they do. But on this platform, on this earth planet, some of us are very, 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 very much opportune for us to have access to these information. So first, I want to encourage you that if today is your first time coming here or maybe watching us on Facebook, you need to understand that it is not very easy for people to come close to information like this. Some of us who were born into Christianity, some were born into the Islam tradition, some into Jewish tradition, and some into Buddhist tradition. And some of us don't even believe in the existence of God. But trust me, if you are opportune to come close or have an association with a devotee, and start to read the Bhagavad Gita, I am telling you, you are very fortunate and you should take advantage of this opportunity. In fact, we have 8,400,000 species of life. 8,400,000 species of life. All the 8 million species are considered to be the lower species. The living beings in the waters, the trees, the insects, the birds, the beasts, they are all 8 million different kind of species. The 400,000 species are considered to be the human species. And among the human species, we have the civilized one and uncivilized ones. Among the civilized one, thousands may try to understand God. But among thousands of those who say that they have understood God, hardly one understands the Supreme Lord Krishna. So for those of us who are here first, we are considered to be part of the civilized human society. And among us, if we are able to try as much as possible to understand the tenets of devotional service, then gradually we will be considered to be very, very civilized human beings. In fact, in this material world, we all have our desires, we have our goals. Some people want to work to make money and forget about everything because they think money will give them the happiness they are yearning for. Some people want to go to school and study and become philosophical students because they feel that will quench their innermost desires of happiness. Some people want to perform austerity. So if you go to places like India, you will see people perform austerities like they are mad. I do remember once during Catholic, I went to Vrindavan, and there's a mountain, Govardhan Mountain. We normally do Govardhan Puja. When the Supreme Lord appeared in this material world 5,026 years ago, he lifted a mountain. That mountain is found in Vrindavan with a little finger for 7 consecutive days. It's a long story, I'm not going there today. That mountain is there. So devotees from various areas go there during auspicious period like Kartik, during this period, and they will go and perform tapasya, austerities. And among many of these tapasya, I saw some Vrajavasis, some wonderful devotees. You know what they do? They pay obeisance around the Govardhan mountain. The mountain is 14 miles square. And what they do, they will stand and fall down, pay obeisance. They will move and stand where the hands touch, then they will pay another obeisance. So they don't walk 14 miles square. They will circumambulate the mountain 14 miles with obeisances. So, surprisingly, when night falls, they will sit down. They will not go and look for any food until some village people pass by and maybe they drop some fruit there or something. They won't eat. And I thought they do this for the whole 30 days that we do the Kartik, Vrata. Some of them will not move. They will pack stones like 1,008 stones or 108 stones. So they will take the stone and pay obeisance and drop it. They will take another one, pay obeisance and drop it. So they keep on paying obeisance. So when they are done with, say, the 1,008 obeisances, then they will bring the stone back to where they paid for. So they will pay obeisance through the whole day until evening. When the sun sets, then they will sit down somewhere or lie down and take rest. These are the austerities some people perform. There are other human beings that take interest in giving charity. Because by giving charity, they feel so happy. So they try as much as possible to amass so much wealth so they can help the needy. So in this very verse, there are many ways and means one derives happiness from. But for the devotee of the Lord, you don't need to go out there to go and just engage in charity, or engage in sacrifices, or engage in philosophical study, or engage in fruitive activity. You just have to be resolute to perform devotional service. And when that one thing, devotional service, is performed purely, you will earn all the benefit as performing charities, philosophical study, sacrifice, whatever it is, just by performing devotional service, the merit of all the other activities are attained. Devotional service actually is so wonderful. It is not very difficult. It is very simple for the simple devotee. So when we speak like this, somebody says, but I am a businessman, I'm a government worker, how can I practice devotional service like the devotees in the temple? You can do same. You don't need to always move into the temple to become a good devotee. You can still be a businessman. You can still be a student. You can still be a government worker and still perform devotional service to become a pure devotee. You need to understand only one thing, and that is Krishna is the center of all activities. God is the center of all activities. So whatever activity we find ourselves, we engage ourselves in, the result of that activity must be geared towards pleasing Krishna. So how do you do that? You are a farmer, you don't stay in the temple, you live in your farm community, but every year you have some harvest from your farm. So the result of that farming, some of it must be used to serve the Lord. You are a businessman. You sell many things, you engage in doing business. Yes, how do you serve the Lord? At the end of the day, the benefit of the business you engage in, part of it should be used to serve the Lord. You are a student, you are learning many things. So at the end of the day, you acquire so much intelligence. Use that intelligence to also guide other people to understand the Supreme. So you understand, whatever situation you find yourself, you can become a very good devotee if you will be able to dovetail all your activities to the Supreme Lord. In fact, when you read the purport, Srila Prabhupada made some statement there, very difficult one. According to the Vedas, when one is 5 years, you must go and stay with your spiritual master. You stay there for, say, 20 years. And within that period, you have to go out there and beg for your spiritual master. So in ancient times, the disciples will go out, house to house, door to door, beg for alms. Because there are so many students in there, the guru must feed them and guide them. So you go out there and beg for alms and bring to your spiritual master. You are living a very disciplined life, you don't just eat anyhow. Like now, anytime you want to eat, you just buy anything and eat. No, when you live in the house of the guru, there are rules, there is time for you to eat. There is time for you to eat. And the Guru Maharaj, after when the boga is prepared, when the food is cooked, the spiritual master teaches the disciple how to serve the Lord. So that food must first be offered to the Supreme Lord, and afterwards the Guru will give food to all the disciples. Srila Prabhupada said that if your Guru Maharaj does not give you food that day, the disciple fasts. After going out there to beg for alms, you are so tired, and when the food is cooked, the Guru Maharaj did not give you. I mean, you have to fight and shout. But no, according to the Vedic scriptures, you must keep quiet. You don't know why, because the Guru knows you. He knows you more than you know yourself. You stay there for 20 years. So when you are 25 years, at that point, you are a matured man. So you seek permission from the Guru Maharaj to go and take a wife. So when you have a wife, your Guru Maharaj will bless the marriage for you. You stay in married life for another 25 years. So you assume that you are 50 years. So at the age of 50, your first son should be 25 years. And don't forget one thing. Maximum we live only 100 years in this world. And we shouldn't forget that at the point of death, we will be judged based on our deeds. So all of us should understand that from here, there is another destination. And that destination will be based on the activities we perform on this earth. So at the age of 50, even if you will be able to focusing on the next destination. So at the age of 50, the Vedas say that you attain a place called a retired life. The retired life we know in this part of the world is, okay, I'm working for the government, so when I go for retirement, I am not engaged in those activities. I stay home, I rest. Probably if I have a book to write, maybe I have some small farming to do, a backyard garden. So during retirement, you forget about many things that you used to engage in when you were a young person. So at the age of 50 in the Vedas, when one is in the retired life, you and your wife move to places to go and speak about God. And your interest in sex life should be reduced completely. If possible, you must completely abstain from sex, even though you live with your wife. You know why? Because sex life bounds us so much in this material world. So the more we engage in sex life, the more we become so much attached to material things. So yes, with your wife, Vanaprastha, retired life, you go to places to preach. Like you are in Ghana here, you stay at that temple for some time, do some preaching. Maybe you go to Kumasi, stay for some time, do some preaching. You go to Nkoko, you go to all that we have our centers there, and you try to share your experience with the new devotees and the incoming ones. So if you are able to live from 50 years up to 75 years, then it means that maximum you have only 25 years. Even if you will be living up to the 100 years to die. So at that point, even your connection with your wife must be reduced to the point that the wife must stay home with your children, and only you, the man, must go out there to go and preach. So at the age of 75 years, you attain or accept the renounced order of life, sannyasi. At that point, you are not connected to any material things. All that you attention or you focus your attention on is to discuss the Lord with people. So you travel all the places. So that time, maybe you have a house, you have cars, you have loaned everything to your wife and your children. You have given some to the movement, you have given some to charity. Now all that you have is maybe, now preaching is online, you have maybe some gadgets, some laptop, maybe you have some phone, and one small bag with some few belongings. So that you will not be attached to anything. You keep on moving around. The way Jesus Christ and the Moses, their time, they were not assigned to any one place. They were sannyasis. So it is said that Elijah was staying in the wilderness. He only came home when there's a message for the people. So this is an ancient way of becoming a perfect human being or a civilized human being. So at the age of 75, even if you'll be able to live up to the 100 years, you are almost dying. So you have to completely renounce everything. Your senior child or son should be able to take care of whatever property you have, take care of the home, take care of their mother. You move out. Because very soon, your time will be up. So if you are lucky to stay like that for another 25 years as a sannyasi, then you die. You leave this material world to go and continue from somewhere. So this is the structure. At the age of 5 years, go and stay with the guru and learn everything. See, the gurukulas, they learn almost everything. They learn dancing, they learn cooking, they learn playing all instrumentals, they learn weaponry, everything they learn. From the age of 25 years to 20, making 25 years. Then after that, you accept the wife, the woman, you stay for another 25 years, you give birth to your children. At the age of 50, you and your wife, you try as much as possible not to engage in sex life. Go out there, start explaining the Lord into people. Try to encourage people. More 25 years when you are 75 years, an old man. Now, you don't even have energy to perform anything. Your wife will be very weak. Let them stay home and guide the children. Maybe that time you have grandchildren. You stay home and take care of the house. Then your senior most children will take care of the house as well. You, the man, you renounce everything. Go out there and preach because very soon you're going to die. This is the Vedic tradition. But now we are in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is advancing so much. So how many of us will be able to follow this structure? Very, very difficult. Almost impossible. In fact, in the same, the Srimad Bhagavatam, they said that in Kali Yuga, nobody should even accept sannyasi. because it is not very easy. But we are so fortunate that just by being a devotee and practicing devotional service, the benefit of all these regulations will be achieved. So the devotee, we don't say, leave your wife in the house and go out there to go and preach. Yes, we still need some people to take sannyasis. So in ISKCON, we have some of our gurus that are sannyasis. Yes, there are some, as they joined the movement, they were brahmacharis, they decided not to get married, and they are celibate students like that now, they are gurus. Yes, now if you want to still become a celibate student, a brahmachari, study with the guru, you can become a sannyasi. That's okay. But many of the people that are joining us, we want to encourage you that if you are married, don't think, okay, I'm married, how do I become a devotee? You can be a good devotee by training your wife and your children to remain devotees. Wherever you find yourself, make that place a temple. Get some small altar in your house. Try as much as possible not to eat boga. Food that's not offered to God. When you cook in the house, you have your children there, take them along, go to your altar, teach them how to offer food. See, by doing this, you are not staying in the temple, but you are performing devotional service as if you are resided in the temple. So you can still engage in the business, you can do whatever you want to do and still remain a good devotee by dovetailing the results of your activities to the civil law. Now let's come to the topic today. Humility, tolerance, and not expecting respect, facilitate purity. In fact, I chose this topic because very soon we will be having Gora Purnima, the appearance day of the Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was a learned scholar. If you have read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you'll understand he was a scholar. At his time, he defeated almost everybody. But he left only 8 slokas. And he said that anybody who is able to familiarize himself with the 8 slokas, by following them, by practicing them, that alone is enough to give you salvation. And one of the cardinal points is humility, tolerance, and not expecting respect from anybody. Even though you will give respect to all, but you don't expect any respect in return. Do not abuse the Jnana. We should try as much as possible to be humble. Humility pays. Humility, it pays. Tolerance is a very, very good quality. To be able to tolerate people. So in the 8th sloka, Mahaprabhu says that we should be humble, like the grass on the street. You see, the grass on the street is so humble. People will be walking on the street. They step in, say, the stool of a dog or a cat or anything stupid on the street. Many of us, what we do, we'll be looking for where there's grass to go and scratch it off. They don't complain. We do that all the time. Anytime you step into some mud, you're looking for some grass somewhere to clean your feet. The grass will never complain. They are so humble. But because they stay so humble, the same grass is exalted at times. So you see rich people, after building a very wonderful mansion, then they'll plant grass there everywhere, and then they will put sign. Trespassers will be prosecuted. The same grass out there that nobody regarded it, because it remains so humble, now the position is so exalted. If you mistakenly go and walk on that, you can be prosecuted. Yes. Humility pays. No many a time we are so much full of ego because we consider ourselves to be great people. But who are we? Are we truly great in any sense? No. In fact, many of my time you think that of me, God did not give me ABC, I will not worship God, I will not serve Him. God has not seen you. You can decide to worship Him, not to worship Him. He doesn't lose anything. So those of us that think that we are very powerful, maybe because of our fame, because of our status in society, please, I just want to tell you that we just have to humble ourselves because we are not body. The other time when I was on the TV, I was telling the lady, the one who was interviewing me, that today what I want to tell people, I know many people who find it difficult accepting it because probably they take themselves to be so big, and because they are big, they don't want to accept any truth from any other, especially Christians will say, if it is not in the Bible, then I will not take it. So I was telling her, see, in the creation of God, we have so many universes. And among all these thousands and thousands of universes, we have only one small universe. That is ours. Very small, tiny one. It is very small. But if you have ever traveled to say, you want to go to US, and you take any of the American airlines, it takes you like 11, 12 hours before you get to the US. The aircraft speed is 995 kilometers per hour. Huh? Almost 1,000 kilometers per hour, and they will fly for 11, 12, 13 hours. That's only Accra to US. So let's say if you want to fly from the end of the earth to the other end, how many hours is it going to take you? So many hours. But we think our earth is so huge. But if you compare that to all the planets that God has created, our planet is just tiny, like the seed of a mustard seed. Very tiny. And if you enter into this, our Earth, planet, we have 7 continents. Within the 7 continents, we have only one Africa. If you enter into Africa, we have only one Ghana. And when you come to Ghana, we have only one Accra, which is the greater Accra is the capital of Accra. And say if you enter into Accra, the suburb you find yourself, say maybe Media, is only one in the Accra region. And if you come to Media here, there are many streets. But you live on only one street. Let's say Krishna Street, or maybe Antiopo Street. Only one street, that's where you can be found. And even on that street, you live in only one house. And when we enter into your house, maybe you have about 5, 6 rooms there. You can only live in one room. And even in that one room, you can sleep on one bed. And on that bed, you sleep on a very small portion of the bed. So if you calculate this all the way up there, up to where you find yourself, you are very, 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 very insignificant. I'm telling you, that's the truth. You are so minute to the point that you are very insignificant. So if you understand your position, then where from the pride and the ego and the arrogance? Humility pays. You just have to be humble. When you are humble, nature is going to exalt you. That is the truth. The more you know, the more you know that you don't know. It is said that empty barrels makes the most noise. You know empty barrel, if you see ankre, you know ankre. When it's empty and you pull it, but when that barrel is full of water, you move. You don't hear it. Empty barrels makes the most noise. But I'm telling you, the more you get to know, the more you understand that you don't know, and that will make you very, very humble. That's why they said that knowledge is power. When you learn, when you become knowledgeable, that knowledge will make you humble, and that humility will make you very, very powerful. Many a times, if you sit down to begin to consider probably what you possess, you might think you're somebody, but like I'm saying, you're nobody. Have you ever seen a king sleeping before? Have you observed the king, a very great man, sleeping before? We are very insignificant. Use yourself as an example. That very day, other day, you were very arrogantly shouting and fighting somebody. When you fall into slumber, and somebody take a video of you, the next morning you understand that you are nobody. Now the Russians and the Ukrainians, they are fighting like anything. It is something I spoke about in January 10. I said that Russia is going to be a battleground. They are fighting like anything. Putin, he will not listen to anything. His heart is globally. He will not listen to anything. But trust me, when you go and find him sleeping on his bed, he is as useless as anything you can think of. You know, nature is so powerful that it teaches us every day, but unfortunately, we are not ready to learn. Have you ever had some small malaria before? Have you? No, just try to reminisce, think about it. Have you ever catch some small malaria before? When you lose appetite, all your joint hurts, and you cannot even sleep properly? Have you ever had that experience before? See, we are nobody. We just have to be humble. Before the Battle of Liberia, there were many professors, many PhD holders, many wealthy people. But after the battle, many of them are refugees in Ghana. Huh? I mean, if you are following international news, you see many Ukrainian citizens that are running out of the country. So when you are leaving the country, you can't take your house. The cars that people were going with, about 68 kilometers car. Because, for instance, everybody is going to Aflawo because we want to cross Togo. We are all going with our cars. So the cars are parking. 68 kilometers away from the border. So even where your car can take you, you need to walk for 68 kilometers before you get to the border where you can cross the Ukraine border to Poland. So it means that you cannot take your car. If you have so much money stuck in your house, you cannot carry it. At most you get some small trolley bag where you have some small belongings. If you have many things there, you cannot take them. So you are a billionaire tonight. Yet the next morning you become a pauper in somebody's country as a refugee. See, we are nobody. We are nobody. Have you ever witnessed a car accident before? When the car is so much to the point that you need to even cut the car before you remove the people from the car. See, we are so insignificant, but unfortunately, I thought we are not able to analyze this to understand that we are nobody. That's why we are not ready to exercise abilities in our lives. We become humble when we know we are nobody. When we understand that we don't possess anything. As soon as you begin to really understand, not theoretically, but you begin to realize that you are nobody, trust me, you become humble. You are struggling so much, not sleeping, stressing yourself, amassing wealth. At the age of 50, 60, when you have so much money and you decide to write your own will, it's so surprising that your name will not be in the will. You're not sleeping, you're not eating well, struggle. Oh my God, I need to make money. I want to have this house. No, they have to get this. You get all these things. And when now maybe you're not feeling well and say, I have some children, let me plan for their future. So let me call a lawyer. Lawyer, please, I want to have a will for my children. So lawyer said, okay, what do you want me to do? That my house here, I want to give it to my daughter. That my company goes to my second son. Okay, this house goes to my wife. Okay, this will go to my mother. At the end of the day, your properties will be distributed among people, and your name will not be in that will. So why are you so puffed up? Why are you so arrogant? You think that you're amassing the world? See, this man, Libya president, what's the name? Muammar Gaddafi. He was so powerful. That guy was so powerful. Huh? But small thing, it's gone. So that mistake was so bad. Where is he? Why are we not learning from the mistakes of other people? See, you cannot afford to commit all the mistakes in the world before you learn. Learn from the mistakes of other people. That will make you an intelligent person. People are acting so arrogantly out there because they think they have somebody. But when death comes, they become so insignificant. Do you want to get to that point before you learn? No intelligent person does not commit all the mistakes in the world before they learn. They learn from the mistakes of other people to become intelligent. So I am telling you today, you have to be humble yourself, else nature will force you to become humble. Nature will force you to become humble. So you have to learn the quality of humility. And the second one is tolerance. We need to tolerate people, especially as devotees. We all brought in different homes by different parents. Our understanding of even Bhagavad Gita is different. Our understanding of Krishna consciousness is different. So because of these differences, we should be able to tolerate people, because we will not always get people to act the way we feel is right. We have to tolerate people. It's an act, but we have to consciously learn this. See, at times, nature teaches you something that will help you so much in life. And for you to be taught that kind of thing, at times somebody must even lose his own life for you to learn. The example is, if you want to cross this road right now, and as you want to cross, somebody crosses the road without looking left and right, and a car knocks that person, and the person dies at the instant. As a human being, you'll be shaken. You're going to feel so bad. But trust me, from that day, anytime you want to cross the road, that scene will play in your mind. Anytime you want to cross any road, the scene of somebody crossing the road and getting knocked down by a car will play in your mind. So, for nature to teach you that you should be very careful when you are crossing the road, somebody has to die in the process. So, you tomorrow when somebody slaps you, another person is standing there seeing how you react to that situation, so that they can also emulate from you. Why don't you allow yourself to be used as an instrument to teach other people? Somebody has to lose his life for you to learn that it's important to be very careful when crossing the road. So tomorrow when somebody slaps you, if you are able to tolerate that, the third person will say, oh, this guy is a good person. See the way the guy slaps him without any fault of hate, but he didn't even respond. Okay. Next time when somebody attacks him, the person can refer to your situation and advise himself. See, many times, nature teaches us to learn, but we don't want to learn. So nature will make sure that that situation will be repeated itself until we learn. That is a fact. We need to tolerate people. Nature uses people as instruments to facilitate our own destiny. If you don't have any connection with the next person sitting close by, this person will never cross your path in life. Just for the fact that this woman is in your house as a wife, just for the fact that this man is in your house as a husband, means you two have something in common. That's why you have to cross paths in this life. So whatever happens between two of you, nature is using yourself to teach the same person a lesson. People are being used as instruments to facilitate our own destiny. We should try to tolerate people. Someone insults you, someone says something against you, and because of that, I will never ever talk to you. Even if you are water, I will never drink. No, at times we do this. We get so puffed up with bitterness to the point that we are not ready to even associate with devotees. It's because we cannot tolerate. Without tolerance, it will be very difficult for us to achieve purity. We need to tolerate people. It is not very difficult to love somebody who loves you. When someone says, I love you, the next thing you say is that I love you too. I mean, it happens all the time. We do that all the time. When somebody says, I love you so much, you say, oh, I love you too. So it is not news to loving somebody who loves you. It's not news. Anyone that does. But when someone hates you and you're able to love that person, it makes you a great person. If you're able to love somebody who hates you, that makes you a mature, great person. If you are loving those who love you and hating those who hate you, then, I mean, there's nothing special about it. Because everybody needs the same thing. We should be able to love those that hate us. So the Bible says, we must even pray for our enemies. So we have to try as much as possible to develop the quality of tolerance if we want to achieve purity. Then that's one is not expecting respect from people. Many a times, with our own false ego and pride, we think we've done so much that everybody must respect us. I am the one who is doing A, B, C, D for you, so you must respect me. Yes, naturally the person will respect you. But you, the person, you should not be expecting it. Yes, when you do something good and it's spoken about, it encourages you to do more. But if nobody appreciates it, so don't expect results from it, respect from anybody. It is not very easy, it's difficult, but trust me, it is possible, it's doable. That you respect everybody, you show everybody respect, but you don't expect them to respect you in return. In the material world, it is said that respect is reciprocal. It means that for me to respect you, you must respect me. But in spiritual circles, it's not like that. No. You respect. Whether people respect you or not, you must respect people. So when you are respecting people without expecting respect back, when you are tolerating people and you are expressing humility, it is very, very easy for you to become a pure soul, a pure devotee. And if you're able to achieve that, the Bhagavad Gita that we just read says that when you leave this world, you will go back to the abode of the Supreme Eternal Lord. After you have enjoyed all the result of all the various activities. Charity, austerity, sacrifice, study of the Vedas, being a philosophical person. Doing all these yet by being a devotee, you will attain all the merits of this. And then finally, when you die, you will be sent to the abode of the Supreme Lord, where you don't have to come back to the material world again. And for you to be able to do all these things, we need to acquire these qualities, humility, tolerance, and try to respect everybody without expecting respect in return. Hallelujah. So, if you have some questions, some comments, some contribution, please, you take the microphone and then go ahead and speak.
Please, these questions are from online.
Online, okay.
There are two questions I'll ask them too.
Sure.
Please, the first one is from Fifi Sansa. He said, what is devotional service and significant toward the Supreme God? Please, can you describe how best to offer devotional service to the Supreme God within a Christian faith?
Okay, let me finish then you can answer. I think it's a very, very, very important question. So, Fifi, thank you for watching us. And if you are watching, you can also share the feed so other people can also participate. In fact, Bhakti Yoga is the most highest form of worship to God. Bhakti Yoga. It is not very easy. And what I'm saying, yeah, in every religion you see traces of Bhakti there. In every religion. But in Krishna consciousness, it is seriously emphasized. You know, it is said that love to humanity is love to God. It is not entirely true. It is just the basics, the foundation, that for you to love God, you must love living entities. But people can love living entities, but they don't even believe in the Son of God. There are many atheists like that. They are very, very charitable. They are very generous. They will do all things for people, but they don't believe in God, and they even insult God. So it is not automatically true that loving humanity is loving God. Devotional service is dovetail all your activities to the pleasure of the Supreme One. It doesn't exclude paying attention to the living entities, because the living entities are also part and parcel of the Supreme. If you love me, you love my pets. When you love God, automatically you love all the children of God. But when you love the children of God, we don't automatically love God. So simultaneously one, but different. So there are many people who are actually worshiping, but their worshiping is not bhakti. Bhakti means unalloyed service to the Lord. And unalloyed means you don't expect anything from the service you render. Many of us go to church because we think we're going to go to heaven. If you have this mentality, that cannot be bhakti. It is very difficult. That's what I'm saying. Bhakti is not very easy. Going to heaven is the goal of many Christians and Muslims, which is not bad. But if you are worshiping God because you want God to take you to heaven, that is not bhakti, it is business. I do A, B, C, D. I abstain from fornication. I pay my tithe. I do this. God, you are entitled to take me to heaven. That is business. Bhakti is, I serve the Lord, that the Lord can decide to take me to hell. If that pleases him, I'm ready. That is bhakti. The Lord can make me a blind man. The Lord can make me a cripple. He can make me a poverty striking person. I am ready to serve him. I don't give a damn. That is devotional service. See, religiosity is different from spirituality. People don't seem to get it. Bhakti is spirituality. Okay? That is, we serve the Most High not because of what he can give us, but we just want to please him. So when it comes to the Christian movement, we are being taught many things. Gradually, you will develop the quality of devotional service. So what we do, early in the morning, we wake up, we come to the temple or in our houses because something Mangalarati, a very auspicious, service we do some prayers to glorify God and praise him and all that. Not only that, in the morning we sit down here, we learn from the scriptures, and then we try to follow whatever we've been taught in the scriptures. Just after that, we go and take our breakfast, prasada. We sit down together as a family. No discrimination. This is our system. We sit down together. You don't sit in your office and take your prasada there. You go and sit down and eat with the low class people that you consider to be low class. You go to advanced areas, if you go to our temples in all India and other places, you'll be surprised. There's a kitchen in Mayapur called Ghana kitchen. Ghana, yes. So in the afternoon when it's lunch, prasad is set from I think 12:30 to 1 going. So what you have to do in the morning, you go and buy your coupon. They give you a coupon because they need to know how many people will be coming for the prasada. There are many kitchens in Mayapur, but they want to know how many people will come and eat, so that they don't go and cook and throw it away. So if they say we have 5,000 coupons, then they know that we are cooking for 5,000 people. There are no chairs there, there are no seats there. There are only some small platform where you will put your food and then a mat for you to sit down. So people will queue. After the queue will go from here to about 700 meters away. It will be quiet like this. So I was in the queue, and some devotees that they are the resident of Mayapur, when they are passing by, they'll come and pay obeisance. There were two senior devotees in front of me, and I never knew that they are the proper disciples. So those that knows them, when they are passing by, they come there and offer their obeisance to them. So I was like, what is happening? So when we went into the hall, all of us were sitting on the floor. So the proper disciple means they met Shirakupa. They are very, very senior. That very day, Ambarish Maharaj, he is the grandson of Ford. So the Ford company, you see, he's the owner. Guys, Shrana, go give the key. So Ambarish Prabhu, he is the owner of Ford company. If you go to America and see Ford company, he's the owner. He was in the queue. He didn't say I'm the big guy, Ford, I'm the most richest person. So let me quickly rise to go ahead and take my bachelor. All of us were on the queue. We entered inside. They will serve everybody. They will keep on going. When they will give you rice, still days, they will go. When you finish eating and your stomach is so empty, you take more. You cannot take more than necessary. So all the big guys, when I say big guys involved in material sense and in spiritual sense. People that have been in this movement for about 15 years, they are so advanced, but very humble. We all sit down together and eat. So 9 o'clock, 10, after class, we all go and sit down and eat together. Eating together with devotees create unity. In our villages, when we were kids, that's what we used to do. When your mother finished cooking food, you will see about 5 other husbands. They have their wives in the house, they will come to the house, they will bring their food and they will all sit down and eat together. It creates unity and love. You don't take your food and go and hide it in some small corner and be eating. No, sit down with the devotees and eat together. This is our system. So we sit down, we eat together. After that, the devotees are supposed to go out for preaching. They go out there, they preach, they distribute books. They come back home around 5 p.m. When they start for evening program, they come and take back, they come and take their prasadam, they go for another program. After 8, 9, they go back to sleep. They have to sleep early so that they can wake up early in the morning to do their prayers. So if you keep on practicing this all the time, you naturally develop love for the system. And because the system is geared towards pleasing the Lord, you are automatically practicing bhakti yoga. You are not doing all this because of how much money you will be paid, because in the temple, nobody receives any pay. The brahmachari have to serve, free will, voluntary service, no payment. But you do this with joy. When they go out there, whatever they receive, they still bring to the temple. This is bhakti. They go out there to go and preach to people because they know the people out there are an extension of the Lord I'm worshiping. And assume them some love and some care. Some of them don't even know why they are doing what they are doing. I have to be there to guide them. So because you love the Lord, automatically you have love for the other people. See, let's do this exercise. All of you in this room, the first 3-4 months you joined this movement, you were so much energy to the point of why is that the people out there, they can't understand. Some kind of energy that comes to you, you don't understand why they don't seem to be appreciating this philosophy. So people that join newly, when they go out there, they become talkative. You want to explain to everybody, this is so nice. Why are people not accepting it? See, because when you love the love of the Lord will be extended to his expansion. This is bhakti. Not that okay, I'm a Muslim, so when I go out there, anybody who is not a Muslim is not my friend. I don't want to even talk to them. That is just religiosity. It is not spirituality. Or I'm a Pentecostal. So anybody who's an Orthodox Christian, that person cannot come close to me. You are not practicing devotional service. You are doing business with God. Expecting that whatever you do, God must reward you. Devotees don't worship God with that kind of mindset. In fact, when the devotee is going through a difficulty, the devotee will cry and say, "Dear Lord, thank you so much. I have committed so much sin that I'm supposed to suffer. But you love me, so you have minimized the suffering to the point that I will be able to accommodate it." This is the mindset of a devotee. When a devotee is blessed with some good things, he still sheds tears, "My dear Lord, I don't deserve this. What did I do to merit this? My dear Lord, you love me so much." A devotee does not complain. The Bible said, in every situation, we must give thanks and glory to God. So if God is not the cause of our suffering, why do we have to thank him for that suffering? Whatever situation we find ourselves in the doing of the Lord, we must appreciate that. So, devotional service means unalloyed service to the Lord, which means you don't expect anything. You don't have any ulterior motive. You serve the Lord because you just have to serve Him. He can decide to take you to hell. You don't give a damn about it. Hare Krishna. So the second question, you wanted to?
Yes, this is coming from Anandi Amega. He said, Hare Krishna Prabhu, does humility means one must be a fool? Oh, sorry.
Okay. Humility doesn't mean you should be a fool. For instance, somebody entered into my room and stole my money because the door was not locked. After 2-3 months' time, probably after here you get to go. After you get to go. After 3 months' time, the same person entered the room when the room was not locked, and then trouble after your question, you can get it. So this is not humility. You're a fool. You leave your door open and people keep on stealing your money. You're not humble. You're a fool. So humility doesn't mean you should be stupid. Okay, you're living with somebody and the person keeps on always insulting you, and you still want to be with the person. No. Humility doesn't mean allow people to even offend you. You see, when you allow people to offend you, you are the cause. Because they are offending you, they are going to suffer, and you are the cause of that they are suffering. So if somebody insults you anytime he sees you, try as much as possible not to allow the person to see you. Okay, yes, I will be able to tolerate that insult me, but the fact that you have not offended this person, but he keeps on insulting you, you are actually allowing this person to commit more offenses, and he's going to suffer in the cause. So humility doesn't mean you should be foolish. No. Devotees are most intelligent people. Devotees are the most smartest people. You don't have any idea. We are not fools. We are very smart. We are very intelligent. We are not fools, but we are very humble. Okay? B.T. Swami said that selflessness does not mean you should think less of yourself, but you should think of yourself less. You see, selflessness does not mean thinking less of yourself, but it means thinking of yourself less. It means you don't say, okay, me, I'm a fool. No, me, I'm a stupid. No. But don't think of it all the time. You have this, you want to share it with people, everybody's testing 4-5 people. Think of yourself less means give small, give small, give small, give small, and take some. Not that, okay, take the water for me to go and stay hungry. You share and take yourself. So you are thinking of yourself less. Not that you are thinking less of yourself. Less of yourself means, for me, there I'm nobody. For me, there I'm nobody. That kind of mindset, not because you're humble, but because you're a fool. No, we don't accept that. You shouldn't think less of yourself, but you think of yourself less. For instance, I go on the TV to have a program, and you meet all these big pastors. They have so much crowd, and when they're coming, they come with about 6-7 people. They'll be holding different Bible for them. Jnana gets a small, short man, and I don't have the physique. I don't think less of myself. I know what I know. These people don't know a quarter. So I am brave to speak to them. That is not arrogance. I am not thinking of my less. Say, you go to a place, maybe they are only rich people, and you have this philosophy. And then you have to go and speak to them. You think, okay, for me, I'm a poor man. How can I go and speak to these rich people? You are thinking less of yourself, and that is wrong. Devotees don't think of ourselves. I mean, we don't think of ourselves less. We don't think of ourselves all the time. We think of ourselves less, but we don't think less of ourselves. So if you're a devotee, you should be brave enough and face anybody out there when it comes to discussing God. Because what we know, people don't know out there. I am telling you, I go out there, I give seminars, and you see, some people are PhD holders. Academically, they are far away. I don't come close. I can't even be their student. Because they know more than me. But what is here is more than what they know. So I am brave enough to tell them. So you come and see, and they will be squatting. Knowledge is power. So we don't think of ourselves less. We don't think less of ourselves, but we think of ourselves less. Okay? So, our temple president is telling me that today's Sunday feast service is dedicated to, in honor of our spiritual master, His Holiness B.T. Swami, the Bhakti Teta Swami Maharaj. So the Prasadam was also sponsored by His Grace Shrivas Vanachari Maharaj. Also, we celebrate Shrivas Vanachari Maharaj and his Vyasa Puja. Okay. So Prabhu wanted me to speak something about Srivas Maharaj.
We celebrated
Okay.
So today, whole program is dedicated
To him. So I'll see something. Srivas Maharaj.
Srivas Maharaj, we celebrated on the 8th.
On the 8th.
So some people.
Okay, we will do that. I'm a talkative, so as I'm going off, you'll see them. I'm going to talk to them. Okay, is going on. Okay, so I think you've seen a very handsome man like that in DC. Some of us were very fortunate we met him. He's a great soul. I mean, we cannot finish speaking about His Holiness Bhakti Teta Swami Maharaj. He has a black body, an American, but a Packard devotee of the Supreme Lord, a Packard disciple of Shabbat, but he was a great man. Try and read his books. He has Spiritual Warrior series, Refreshing series. Get it and read. Great insight. He was a great soul. I do remember that when we joined this movement, we were here for many years. We didn't have initiation. So we were waiting for Maharaj. For many years, Maharaj was not coming. So myself and some colleagues of mine, we've been serving for almost 6-7 years now, no initiation, and they are still calling us Batachas. And you know, at the time when you join the league, you want to receive initiation so that you become Prabhu. So Maharaj came, that was the first time we met him. And we heard someone about a guru. Like I know some of you are new people, you are thinking, the guru is the guru. So I remember when Maharaj came, the car brought him, there were so many devotees at that time. When Guru is coming, all the yatras will be here, the devotees, everybody comes. A big festival. So Maharaj came out, and you see his broad smile. That alone will captivate you. Just by looking at his face, the broad smile will mesmerize your heart. And when they sit on the answer and Maharaj is speaking, you just be looking at him. I mean, that's what I know Maharaj knows. A great soul. And I remember, we were supposed to take initiation. I was even reciting this pranam for many years. Long time. So myself, Akashwini Prabhu, and Banyala, we were many. Our colleagues were about 10 of us. So we were chanting this pranam for a very long time. And then I remember Kapcha Maharaj came within that time. So Kapcha Maharaj was speaking here. I was sitting this side. But you know, if you're nearby, you see the gurus, you're even afraid of them. You see the gurus, they carry some vibration. When you're close to them, you'll understand. If you have a higher vibration, when you go to a guru, you will understand. So I was sitting far away. And it's like he was just looking at my face. So I said, my heart didn't be in now, but is it I've done something wrong that someone is looking at me? So I went out as if I was going to pass water. So when I was coming, I passed this end to come and sit here. And he was still looking at me. I said, maybe I have done something wrong. So that by the water glass, I was just quiet and I was listening. Like I'm saying, I was chanting Maharaj Pranam because I still see him as my guru because I chanted Pranam for a very long time. So after the class, I went to get there was Prabhu. He was the temple president. Yes, yeah. I said, Prabhu, I want to take initiation from this guru. I don't know. Something is telling me I should take initiation. The guy from Chai. You take guru's tomatoes. Do you take guru's tomatoes? You can choose guru from here and choose guru from here. And it's true. Guru is not like tomatoes. You cannot just go to market and okay, you test it and you say, no, I'm not like, you know, when you are here, you pay attention. Listen to the senior devotees. They will help you and guide you to choose a guru. Because that's your lifetime achievement. Okay? So you cannot just be testing gurus that today, okay, I want to take this, tomorrow I take this. You are not a serious person. But in my case, something was pulling me. So Prabhu said, you and your colleagues have been here for many years. Very soon you'll be having initiation. Because Maraj was about coming. And now if you want to take another pranam, according to our standard, you have to chant now for at least 1 year before you can be accepted as a disciple. So all your colleagues will become Prabhus and you still be a Bhakta. So when Prabhu said this, I said, no, I can't accept this. I went back and something was still pushing me that I went back to the Prabhu. Yes, still, I will decide to take Kapja Maharaj because I feel I want to accept him as Guru Maharaj. But still, I was chanting Maharaj Pranam. So many times in devotees, they can only chant their Guru's Pranam. I can chant his Pranam more than you Kapja Maharaj because I chanted for a very long time. And he's such a great Guru. When you are around him, nobody will tell you this is a great personality. And his glory is everywhere. Go to Mayapur, wherever you go, people speak so much about him because he's a very great devotee. He still has so many disciples. His disciples are around. He's no more with us in this material world. He knew when he was going to leave the material world. And senior devotee will tell you so many wonderful things about his holiness, right? A great devotee. So one of his disciples, he was a guru now, his Grace Srimad Banachari Maharaj. Maharaj has accepted the disciples, so we have new disciples. Maharaj has been around for a long time. Some of us came to meet him. I remember the very first day I came here on a Tuesday, 1996 or 1998, one of them. I came over here to the first room. I met Ramanuja Prabhu there. I said, I want to become a member. Ram said, who preached to you? I don't know, I guess came. Yes. I remember when I was in class 6, my father, the words came to our village. My father was a magician. So he liked mystic. So when he saw the address and he told me these people have some powers. I remember, I was a small boy. So I was standing there with my father when the words were preaching. Helena Prabhu preached that day. When I came, I saw him as this man. And all this year, he's not glowing. You see him like that? Very grown, but still a young person. I remember my father bought books. He bought some oils from devotees. And a book called Raja Vidya, King of Knowledge. I was in class 6 when my father bought this book. So I remember when he finished SS, one of my colleagues did not pass his maths. So he had to recite. And I remember giving him that book. That see, I saw this book in my father's box. My father was a magician, some power is in. Read this book and I tell you, you'll be able to pass the maths. And truly my friend wrote and he passed the maths. So when I was coming and I saw the signboard here, I told the rabbi that I liked it. I came over. And Prabhu Ram told me, okay, he'll be going to Nigeria the following day. So he sent me to Maharaj. At that time, it was Sivas Prabhu. Maharaj was the temple president at that time. He sent me to his office. I said, this young boy said he want to join us, but I'll be going to Nigeria tomorrow. So he said he'll be coming here on Sunday. So we want to come attend to him for me. So I was given a small book. The book was Prahlad Maharaj Teachings of Transcendental Teachings. I took it home on Tuesday, I finished reading the book. The next day, Wednesday, I came back to meet Prabhu Ram. And he gave me the same book, Raja Vidya. When I saw the book, I said, this book, I have never seen it before. So on the Sunday, when I came to the temple, after the whole lectures, they opened the altar and they started, Kiba Jayo, Jayo, Gura, Chande. And Sivas Prabhu at that time, he's the one that did the cater. And you see Maharaj, the way he steps of dancing. I will never forget that moves. So when I got home, the thing was just ringing in my mind. The music is so nice. How they dance, everything was so nice. So that's Maharaj for you. And he's been here for a very long time. Those that know him very well, he was about becoming a doctor or something. He was in the university learning. And later when he made the movement, he dropped everything. Said, I want to be a devotee. And he's been here for many, many years. And I'm telling you, many of us, he's our mentor. Many of us, we see him as a mentor. We go him for advice. He is a very selfless person. Trust me, late in the night, 12 a.m., if you call his phone and the phone rings and he hears that maybe you have a difficulty, he will come and accept you. I know many people in the night, when you call them, they will not even marry you. Srivas Maharaj, if you call him even in the night and you have to come to your aid, trust me, he will come. There are many, many funerals, programs. He will follow you and go there. He is a very good person. I mean, he's like a father to me. And many of us can say more about him than what I'm saying. But like Babu said that it was his Vyasa Puja, that's his birthday. So we pray that they should have mercy on us, so that we can also become good devotees like themselves. It is not very easy getting to that point, though. It is not easy, but it is very possible. With their blessings and our own effort and then some endeavor, we'll be able to come closer. Not becoming like them, but becoming good servants so that we can really serve them. Because they've been accepted by the Lord, if we serve them well and they believe this mature word, we'll be able to have somewhere to lay our heads in this mature word. So please, your question, then we'll give it to problem. We still have some time because the
a wonderful insight into the previous group. At least humility, tolerance, and not expecting respect facilitates purity. So can you guide us on really what is purity? How do I know I'm being purified? How do I know at what point do I know I'm pure or semi-pure or that? And then the subsequent question is when you were lecturing, you gave an insight into disciples soliciting for alms from homes for their guru. And really one of the prerequisites here when you receive initiation or maybe when you want to practice it, you should earn an honest living. I should be corrected if that's not right. And so if a disciple is moving around soliciting for alms, at what point does the disciple know that this person I'm taking this food or this money from, when it's a thief or when to kill or that, and the money is coming from that source?
Okay.
And what are the repercussions for the group?
No, money cannot be evil. It is only the act
of earning it.
Of any can be evil. So, for instance, if I give you 10,000 Ghana cedis now, maybe I did some robbery by getting that money. When I give you this money, that paper money I'm giving you can never be evil.
But you didn't earn it through the right means.
No. You earn it through the right means, through charity, and receiving things from charity is the right means. But me did not get the money through the right means. I robbed somebody to get the money, so that is not the right means. But if I decide to give the money to somebody who needs charity, the person has no connection with the sins I committed. It's people. Wait, when I go and put my money in the bank, okay, the notes that I deposited in the bank, that note, maybe after 2-3 days, you go there to go and cash out. That note that I deposited there might be part of the money that you receive. Doesn't mean that the note I put in there because I got that money from evil deed, you have to suffer. The people money cannot be evil. It is only the deeds, the actions, that is evil. So, if somebody commits some heinous activities and then use the money to go and give tithes to the church is not going to suffer for you.
I beg you. Then why are we prevented from giving money to people who would use it for intoxicants, who go and drink, who go and...
No, because I am getting there, you understand. See, when you give money to, we are talking about charity. So if you are saying the charity in the mode of goodness, charity in the mode of passion, charity in the mode of ignorance, this is another topic. But in the sense of somebody earning money in the rightful way, or in a bad way, and then you as a disciple going out to beg for alms, and somebody gives you that money and you give the money to your guru, it will actually benefit the person. Because when the money is used properly in the service of the Lord, it will even actually sanctify the person who committed all this heinous activity for getting the money. We don't encourage people to go and mess up there and get money and give to God. We said try to earn money in a very rightful way. But the money must be used properly. When the money is used in the mood of goodness, it benefits the giver. So, you giving money to somebody and the person using the money to go and do bad things for you to suffer is different from somebody getting money and giving the money to the disciples to be given to the Guru Maharaj. It's a different thing altogether. Okay? So yes, we advise people, you should be careful when you're giving charity. Because when you give charity, say money to somebody on the street and the person uses the money to go and buy alcohol or maybe some hard drugs, and the person smokes or the person go and messes his life up, you assisted the person to do this So you have some karma to pay. But somebody earn money in a very wrong way, but the money is given to a right source, it will actually benefit the person, even though we don't encourage people to go and get money in the right way. Do you get the point? So yes, the disciples goes out there, they beg for alms. And those days, it was no money. You see, they'll give them grains, they'll give them milk, they'll give them vegetables, they give them fruit. Those days, these are the things they used to give to the disciple. It is not like now, anything we want to replace with money. So they go out, beg for alms, because the guru must feed the disciples, they must feed the other people that live around, so they have to go and beg for alms. So if your money is evil, the money paper is not evil. It is your deeds that is evil. People need to understand it. That, okay, I went to go and stake lotto. And he said, gambling is bad. So after earning money from the gambling and I give the money to God, that means that the money is bad. No, the paper cannot be bad. Your deeds you perform is bad, you have to suffer for it. The paper you are given is not bad. I don't think if you guys understand what I'm trying to say. The paper, money, the note cannot be evil. The paper cannot be evil. But the deed. So you committed a heinous deed to accrue that money. You will suffer for that. But that paper money you are giving to that person, he will not suffer for your suffering. But if the person misuse the money, then you, the giver, when it comes to the charity, the word of goodness, passion, and ignorance, you, the giver, have to suffer because the money engineers somebody, facilitates somebody to go and commit some evil things. But the paper money, there's no sin attached to it. People misconstrue this, that okay, there's no dirty money. The notes cannot be dirty in any sense. But you, the deed you committed, the act you enacted before getting the money might be evil and you will be punished for that. But the notes, the paper cannot be evil. If not, like many of us will be buying food out there, the change they will give to you is from somebody who has committed a serious heinous deed. And then you have to come and solve because the money he paid to the vendor is the same money that is given to you. So I'm saying that the paper, the notes cannot be evil. It is only the deed that is evil. Allegation. Prabhu, please, you can ask the question. Oh, sorry, he asked another thing about purity. How to become pure. Like I'm saying, I gave you a whole channel of what we do here. So if you follow all this process gradually, you will begin to ward off so many impurities from your system. For instance, we don't eat meat, we don't fish, no egg, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. We chant the Maha Mantra all the time. We try to love all the other living entities. By doing this gradually, you develop the quality of purity. And the Bible says, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Purity is possible, but it's very difficult. So when you go through this system, for instance, a devotee is supposed to love everybody, no matter what. A devotee has no enemy. Some people can hate a devotee, but a devotee has no enemy. He tries to live a very simple life. He tries as much as possible to harm people for his own ends. He tries as much as possible to be a good person. So when you follow all these principles, you chant the Maha Mantra, you don't break all these principles, and then you relate nicely with people, gradually, you attain purity. In fact, when you are becoming pure, nobody tells you. It is like when you are eating, nobody tells you that you are satisfied. When I serve you food right now and you are eating, I don't have to tell you you are satisfied, stop eating. When you are satisfied, you know. When you are getting close to purity, nobody will tell you. You yourself, you know. You understand that now all your material desires are coming down gradually. Many a time there is so much anxiety in the mind because we think we can amass the whole world. When one is getting close to purity, hankering is minimized. You do your best, you don't expect any result. You think, okay, I am watching. Whatever comes out of this is by the mercy of the Lord. You don't hanker. The way people were hankering out there, people were hankering and hankering. They want to amass the whole world. They are very far away from purity. Purity will minimize your material bondage. Purity will minimize your material hankering. So the more your love for spiritual things, the more your love for, nature, the way your love for other people, trying to see people excel in life, gradually you should understand that you are making so much purity in yourself. But the more you begin to think of yourself so much, now thinking about what you can amass, forget about if we can go to hell, that kind of mentality means that you are very far away from purity. So we can all assess ourselves. How many times do we become happy when we see other people happy? When we see people suffering, do we suffer with them or be happy because people are suffering? When somebody is in need, what is your approach? You have to give what you do. You don't have to give what you do. So all this will tell you that you are growing towards purity. So purity is an act of becoming very close to the Lord. But nobody will tell you you're becoming pure. You should be able to understand and feel that you are living your bad ways of doing things. When you commit one sin, how do you feel? Maybe by mistakenly, maybe you go and commit some sin. How do you feel? You feel so remorse and cry, and dear Lord, why did I do this? But you commit some sin and nothing even tells you that it's a sin. Trust me, you are very far from purity. For instance, maybe a devotee who is abstaining from sex life, and maybe mistakenly, maybe he quickly go and do, maybe have some sex somewhere. He will go and sit down and cry because you know this is so bad. But you are making an arrangement going to hotel for hotel. No, you are very far away from purity. Somebody who is going close to purity, when he commits some mistake, he feels remorse. He feels so repentant within his heart that I should not have done this. So we should be able to analyze ourselves. When we commit some sin, how do we feel? When we see people happy, how do you feel? When you see people suffering, how do we feel? How do we relate to other devotees? This will tell you you are becoming pure or you are becoming more impure. So if you're able to analyze yourself this way, trust me, purity can be ascertained by yourself. Probably now you can answer this.
Thank you very much for today's class. Very informative. The word humility came up in both questions and comments. And I was just looking, when you were speaking, I was remembering a comment made by a very senior disciple of Prabhupada, Harvilas. And he was telling us in Vancouver many years ago, he was describing Prabhupada's response when he was asked what humility is. So I'll just read this. It's a very brief thing.
Okay.
He's saying, Srila Prabhupada, what does it mean to be humble? This is Harvilas speaking. And his answer was really incredible. He said, humility means that you are convinced beyond any doubt that there is nothing in this world, absolutely nothing in this world, not your money, not your family, not your fame, not your gun, not your education, nothing that will save you except the mercy of Krishna. When you are convinced like this, then you are humble.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great answer. So maybe if you do it again, God will answer. The devotee asked Prabhupada, what is humility? And Prabhupada said humility is having that faith that nothing in this world will be able to save you. Not your money, not your education, not your status in society, nothing. It is only by the mercy of the Lord that will save you. That's humility. And that's true. In fact, devotees are very humble because we know that Krishna will always provide what the devotee lacks and he will protect what he has. Devotees have that full conviction of this. That even if the Lord puts you in a difficulty, he knows that situation is good for you to learn. And the devotee does not say the witches and nobody is playing juju on me, somebody is doing voodoo on me. No. And the devotee understand that I am in the hand of the Lord. I am fully surrendered to the Lord. The Lord knows it's good for me. If not, it will not happen. See, let me tell you. If the Lord says you will die today, nobody can save you. It's a fact. If God says that today you have to leave this material world, nobody, no juju man, no power, nothing can save you. Today you go. And when the Lord says that, no, it is not your time yet. Nobody can kill you. So for a devotee, you have this strong conviction that the Lord is there and he will take care of me. That is humility. Ram, thank you so much for that. You know, it's very profound. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
My question is on humility, but I think Prabhu's question, contribution has satisfied part of the question.
Okay.
So I'll go on to the other part. Just as you say that Lord Chaitanya says we should become more humble than the blade of grass. The Christian part also defines humility in various ways. Sometimes it says humility means taking less of yourself, like you said. At other times, he says humility means to be as aggressive as a lion. So you see that it appears to have
contradictory.
Various. I mean, it appears superficially contradictory.
Sure.
Therefore, what is the actual meaning of it and its practical application in devotional service?
Yeah, in fact, I think what Prabhu read has this many things. But when you say humility means to become aggressive like a lion, no, at times you have to take it, in the context that is okay. For instance, we are in the temple and we see some ropes coming to break break everything here. We are very humble people. Why you be surprised you see martial arts training here? Huh? And the body is always ready to protect the Lord or to serve the Lord. So if you mean, it means you have to do something to protect the devotee. It means you have to be aggressive, go ahead and do it. If I see somebody maybe knocking the head of a devotee here with some big stone, what you will see here, you won't believe it's me. That's humility. Always trying to see to the need of other people, especially devotees. Devotees are very special. So it means you have to be aggressive. Hanuman had to bend Lanka. You know Lanka was a very powerful city in the middle of the ocean somewhere. And a Ravan, a very powerful demon, was messing up. Hanuman being a very, very good devotee of the Lord, he had to bend Lanka. You can't bend somebody else if you're not angry. Anger cannot be entirely evil. You can use anger properly. So yes, at times being very aggressive to protect, say, the vulnerable in society, being very aggressive to protect people who need help can be accepted as humility. You are not doing that for your own parochial interest or for your own whimsical end. You are doing that to sustain humanity. You are doing that to protect somebody. That can be considered as humility. So like I'm saying, depending on the context you find humility. At times humility also means that somebody slaps you and you say, I'm very sorry for what I did. Please, I will not repeat it again. Because a devotee is so intelligent. He understands. He slapped me one. If I replied him, the situation is going to be more precarious. Probably he's going to break out loud. I have to bring on it. So I'm very sorry for causing you so much pain. Please forgive me. At that instant, in this context, humility means not responding to whatever he says. So humility can be explained in many, many ways depending on the context you find it. But for devotees, we are very smart and very intelligent because we read the most oldest scriptures on earth. The Bhagavad Gita, all knowledge, all intelligence that we'll be able to take us back to Godhead is in these our scriptures. So devotees, at times the way devotees operate, if you sit out there, you might think, why is he doing that? You cannot understand devotees. Devotees are like lotus flowers. They are always in water but not touched by water. If you are not very careful, you can criticize the devotee in a very wrong way. You have to be very careful because devotees are very dynamic. How they do things at times involves our mind. But we have to be humble and try to learn from. There are many, many stories instances in the scriptures where there's a story, Mahaprabhu's pastime, that a king, a very powerful king, when you go to him, he's there with so many girls and they are dressing him, and this man is just practically in the midst of women. I mean, in our scriptures, men should not be associating with women like that because a man is considered to be butter and a woman is considered to be fire. Anytime fire goes close to butter, it melts it. So no matter how strong you are, when you are too much close to women, you'll be falling for sex life. So the Lord speaks against this. But here's the case, the Lord told some disciples that they should go to one big king to go and learn from him. Then one day this king is just in the midst of women and talking like that. So in the mind of this people say, how can Mahaprabhu send me to this king? See the way this man is enjoying the midst of women. Somebody who's engaged in illicit sex like this, how can I learn from him? This is how he was thinking his mind. But the sloka from the Srimad Bhagavatam was recited there. And as soon as the sloka was recited, this king sitting on his palanquin fell down into ecstasy. It is only very people who are very close to the Lord can reciprocate to these slokas. So after this king was on the ground and was wavering and was showing all the signs of trance, then the devotee started thinking, then I committed so much offense. I was thinking this man is some mundane man, somebody enjoying the midst of women. So we should be very careful how we criticize devotees. After what we see is not like that. We should be very careful, and that's not humility. Not criticizing people anyhow. You might not know. There are some things that see, if 9 is written down here, you that you are standing here might see it to be 6. I will say it to be 9. We should be very careful the way we criticize people at times. It is not what we think. So humility means time, place, and circumstance. You should be very smart and intelligent to be able to This is a fact. What is what you don't commit any allegation. Is the Pujari ready? Okay, so I think we are very grateful that you came. Thank you so much for coming. And we hope next Sunday you come here. Allegation. Dasha Prabhupada Gay. Gora Bhakta Gay. Gora Premanande.